So you got to buy an audio interface, have you? And you got no idea because there's like a billion of them. Well, don't worry. Watch this video because by the end of it, you're going to know, firstly, if you need to buy one, but also which one might be the best for you. Let's go. Hiya, Charlie T Music here. So you've definitely read somewhere or watched somewhere that you need an audio interface to make music. Here's the truth, you might not need one at all. I'm going to clear up when you need an interface, and if you know that you need one, I'm giving you 5 brilliant budget options that you can choose from. So I've added some timestamps at the bottom so you can skip to the bit that's relevant for you, just in case you don't want to hear me talking for an extra couple of minutes. So before we dive into those 5 interfaces, do you even need one? Let's do a quick reality check. If you are going to be making lots of beats, or you're going to be using MIDI-based stuff and samples, or you're thinking about using like a nice USB-based microphone, or you're going to be working entirely on headphones with no external gear, and you're not going to have any monitor speakers, then honestly, you're kind of good to go without one. You don't need to waste your money. Computers have built-in converters, and that's what an interface is. It's a converter. It converts analog sound to digital sound so that your computer understands what it is. But what it has to do for us to be able to hear it is it has to convert it back really quickly to analog, because we can't hear digital. Whenever you record something into a DAW, it has been converted from analog to digital back to analog almost immediately so that we can listen to it. Back in the day, analog was all we knew. People used to record things onto tape machines, and they would go from a microphone into a console, out of the console into a tape machine, and it was all an analog flow. There was no digital involved. But now we need things to convert analog to digital. So that's why if you're not going to be recording anything, you probably don't need one. But if you're going to be recording vocals, instruments, if you're going to want to use microphones that aren't USB based, or you want to listen to things through monitor speakers, then an interface is definitely something you're going to need. Interfaces will give you options of how many things you can plug in and plug out. So most of them, they're going to have maybe 1 or 2 inputs and probably only 2 outputs, and those outputs go to your speakers. Also, what interfaces have is they have preamps. Now, preamps amplify the signal of a microphone. Microphones are at mic level, so that means that they're quite quiet. So if you just talk into a microphone without pre-amplifying it, you're not going to hear anything. Preamps lift the level of what's coming into this microphone so that we can hear it, and that's called gain. So as you increase the gain, you're increasing signal with this microphone. Throughout the whole of the industry and the whole of music history, there are hundreds of different companies that make different kinds of preamps, and all of them, they add a certain like sonic characteristic. There'll be loads of videos about that, don't you worry. So if you've carried on with this video, it means you probably need one, right? Here are 5 great options for you. They all range in price, but they're considered affordable. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not any good. It just means when you're starting out, they're perfect. So the first interface to consider, the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. And this is a safe all-rounder. Focusrite have made industry standard gear for decades. This is a solid go-to. It's got 2 really clean sounding preamps. It's great for recording vocals. It's great for recording instruments. It's USB powered. It's a solid build, and it comes bundled with some helpful starter software. So beginners who want something that's just super simple, Focusrite Scarlett is definitely one to consider. Number 2 to consider, Audient ID4. So this one's great for like solo artists who care a little bit more about tone than they do about features. For the actual cost of this, it sounds really, really good. And it's got Class A preamps from Audient's massive consoles they make. So they've also got this like JFET input that adds like a little bit of character to stuff like guitars, which can be really cool. So it means that it's not just totally transparent, there is like a tiny bit of flavor being added. If you are looking for something that's going to maybe add a bit more tone, this interface might be for you. The third interface you might want to consider, PreSonus AudioBox. So this is super, super reliable. So PreSonus, another great company that makes industry standard equipment. This one's really, really affordable. It's really simple to use. Again, it's just USB powered. You just plug it in. It actually comes with a free DAW called Studio One. So this is great for beginners who want to record without like overthinking it. Very straightforward, super simple little interface. Very highly recommended. Interface number 4, the MOTU M2. It's got a very high level of conversion and clarity. It's got a really cool like high-res screen, which actually really helps you with getting levels. A lot of these, because they're affordable, they don't actually have anything that kind of tells you what's going on. They'll have like little flashing lights and LED indicators of something that's happening, but this has actually a proper digital metering thing on the front, which is pretty cool. It's a really good way to learn about metering. The MOTU one's really for like producers who want to take sound seriously, and it kind of looks cool, which, you know, sometimes that's important. Interface number 5, SSL2. This is made by a company called Solid State Logic. They are a big company in the industry. They made consoles that basically revolutionized how we make music. SSL is like the sound of modern music. And when I say modern, I mean like from the 1980s up to now. Some of the biggest mixers, biggest producers in the world, they have SSL consoles or they have SSL emulation. That's another word that we're going to say a lot. We'll come back to that in other videos, so don't worry right now. But for an industry standard company like SSL, this is an absolute bargain. It is the same company behind these classic consoles. There'll be videos about those, but you can also just go look them up. It's got something called Legacy 4K. So 4K was a series of consoles that SSL used to make, and it adds a little bit of vintage PreSonus now, which is pretty cool. They're very, very well built. And this is for anyone who wants a little bit of that analog studio tone. So, quick roundup on those 5. If you want simplicity, go with the PreSonus. You want quality sound, try the Audient or the MOTU. Want legendary tone, that analog flavor, go for a bit of SSL. And if you want a great all-rounder, then the Focusrite is definitely for you. So I would say that most of the interfaces that are on this list are going to work with both Mac and PC, but you've always got to check before you commit to buying them. Just make sure most of them are going to be compatible with both. In the olden days, when I first started out, you had to install all these drivers and all this other crap that it just took you hours to get it right and figure it out. But now they're just kind of like plug and play and they just work. Now there are loads more out there before all the keyboard warriors go nuts and tell me, oh, you should be spending £1,000 on this and £2,000 on this one. And if you want to do that, then it's totally up to you. When I started out, I didn't have an expensive one. I had one that I could afford. Now I run something called an Apogee. There's also amazing ones by a company called Universal Audio. There's also ones by an amazing company called Neumann. On your journey making music, you're definitely going to hear those names again, but you're talking thousands, which when you're starting out, it's just not realistic. So what I did was I started with something that I could afford, and over time, I upgraded when I needed to or when I could afford to. Hopefully this has cleared up any confusion that you might have had about whether you need an interface, and there's 5 to choose from if you're going to buy one. Just for ease, so you don't have to trawl through the internet and find all this stuff, I've just put them all in links directly below. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, because this is really going to help you, this place, honestly, and then share this with other people. Don't keep it to yourself, share the knowledge. Big love, bye!